Hey everyone, what are you doing over there? Welcome to Books and Brew. Oh, the whole.
I realized I don't have my mic.
Oh, you didn't bring your mic.
Sorry.
Well. Welcome everyone to Books and Brew. It is our, I guess our kind of like semi-relaxed stream where we kind of do whatever the hell we want. I want to make you a little bigger.
I mean, I can move my chair up. It's
Nah.
just my pregnant ass like sitting down here. It
There you
doesn't
go.
like sitting high up.
There you go. Now we're kind of at an even level. Well, here we talk about whatever we want, and this time we want to talk about Volo's Monsters Guide. I think we visited Volo's the book itself a while back.
Way like last year.
Yeah.
But like, I think we only touched, like you said, on the Beholder. Sorry, my nose itches. And something else.
I think we talked about like ASMRs because they
It's a monster guide though. It wouldn't have that in there.
it does.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we didn't touch a whole lot on it, so that's why I told you to do the Underdark.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people don't, like, I didn't know what the fuck the Underdark was. I think Matt touches on it in Critical Role a bit, and then, like,
That's where
very briefly.
I think that's where Vecna's like main city was in the Underdark.
And then our Sunday campaign fucking apparently, I don't know if that's legit or that's his take on the Underdark.
That's his take. So let's well, the Underdark is, I believe, different than the. Hold on, DM brain. Better get this right. Underdark 5e. It is a vast network of underground caverns and tunnels under the surface of a particular continent. It is home to a host of evil beings that beings driven deep into the caverns at the end of an age of demons. I feel like, hold on. What do you know about the like? What's your take on like? What comes to mind?
Sketchy ass people.
Sketchy ass people.
Yeah, like Underdark doesn't sound like, it sounds like it's like the black market, like the underground fucking black market or some shit. Like you don't think, oh, highfalutin society. At least not by the name. You know, the one that it's making me remember is some mountains that the Mighty Nine went into, where like they had the wall all around them, and you weren't allowed to go around like out of the concrete wall because it was like literally too dangerous, and they had to have like secure like guards, heavily armed guards.
Was this when they went to the fire plane?
Mighty Nine?
Yeah. Oh, Mighty Nine?
Yeah.
Oh, Mighty. It
wasn't the Underdark, but I'm saying like it reminds me of that. Like it's probably got trade. It's probably a decent sized city or area, whatever the fuck. But like it's just home to some shady shit or like out of the norm, like abstract creatures and shit. So you probably don't want to stay there too long.
Well, I have a clear idea of what the Underdark is now, mainly because I was getting it confused with the Shadowfell. I was like, isn't the Underdark like a mirrored version of the material plane, like how the Feywild is? No, that's that. I got everything wrong. So yes, the Underdark is essentially like where do the mole people live? You know, the lizard folk. Not lizard folk, but I mean like real life crypto. You know, like where they're like some politicians are actually lizard people. Like it's that idea of like like what's underneath the ground. You know, what's in the center of the earth where these creepy like material plane beings reside in. And that's the Underdark. I think some of the monsters in Volo's guide to monsters also heavily lean towards the Shadowfell, which essentially is we have the material plane, and then layered above it is the Feywild. Catch me? And then layered underneath it is the Shadowfell. And it's not like they are on top of one another. More or less are they like they're mirrored versions. One's in really sparkly, happy. What's going on? Top down tabletop. What's going on, guys? Joining us.
I like the little
little peeking, little lurking elf.
Hi, Shady.
Yo, Shady, what's going on? But yeah, that's the idea, is that they're mirrored versions of the material plane, but one's all sparkly and happy and chaos, and the other one is kind of gloom and sad and kind of just depressing. So I've gone through a few monsters and Volos. Some of them, we're going to explore a few of them together.
I mean, I don't know what the... like I said, our DMs, obviously, we DM professionally, or you DM professionally and play professionally on weekends to provide entertainment to you all, but nobody fucking... No one ever brings up the Underdark.
No, I don't bring it up. I don't have time to think about the Underdark.
No, first of all, I mean, like, anybody we've played with.
No, first of all, I gotta say, that is so flattering that you say professionally.
I mean, you get a lot of compliments. You do it for Gigabyte. You do it for us. I mean, and
I've done it for a few companies.
We've done it for
I did for Newegg, yeah.
And we've done it as a group for 12 days of
You're thinking of Toys for Tots.
Yeah, that.
12 days for 12 days of indie. Yeah.
So it's not like.
And we did for an Astral thing, which was fun. The Underdark
we did
great.
An Astral event too.
That's correct. That is where the Drows are from, I believe.
I don't know if that's where they're from. I think that's just where a lot of them reside, because you know the whole sunlight thing.
Yes. I've had so many moments where I'm like, I want to play a Drow, but the fact that they get disadvantage on like perception checks in the daylight is just such a heartbreaker. They don't get any bonuses, so it's just so sad.
You probably just have to find the right buff.
Yeah, there's magical sunglasses.
I'm sure there is one. If not, you can fucking work it out with your DM or something.
Yeah, that also is a point of contention. I remember going on forums and people going, well, I want to play a Drow, but I hate the fact that they have disadvantage and everything. Can't I just wear sunglasses? And people are like, nah, that kind of ruins it then, doesn't it? You know, I mean, it sucks. So it's back and forth.
Just be a goth Drow with a black umbrella.
Oh my, that's great.
I wanted to be a Drow too, and it was before Essek. I think it was because you played Natha, and I thought that was an interesting take that you made a Drow the cleric of fucking Palor, you know, the thing that Drows hate, like the sun. So I thought that was great, but I was like, huh. And everybody's like a stigma. They're like, Drows are bad. I'm like, they're not bad if you don't make them bad.
Ever since Tasha's came out, you can do whatever the hell you want, and it fits. You know, it gives you such freedom.
But I feel like that's always how it's been. I feel like, I don't know, there's stereotypes in everything, and I do mean everything, but I feel like in D&D there's such like give and take. Like, I didn't make a stereotypic Triton. I didn't make a stereotypical paladin first go. So it was just like, because it was more fun to play against type, and it made it funner to play as that character. I was like, I don't have to be fucking, she's devout, but not in the sense of like, and you've seen the difference, because we got to play with Trish Hirschberger, and she was like What'd you say? I said Trish Hirschberger.
Trisha Hirschberger?
Hirschberger. Well, fuck.
It's Trisha. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Tired.
Girl, you know we love you, but it's late. It's, you know, it's a.
You can butcher my last name too, because I technically didn't take Mike's. But
we got to get Trisha back on the show. She's a great player.
But she was like the ideal paladin, devout. Played the type, and I was like the screwball that was like, I'm devout, but I'm gonna do it in my own way. Yeah. Like, she's a little goofy. So, you know, it was interesting that I didn't know that's what she was gonna choose, and we ended up playing side by side like that. But
so I want to show you, before we go into another tangent, kind of a creepy looking monster that I just found, and it's called the Devourer, which is kind of strange, and I'm gonna show you the image now.
Yeah, he looks like he has a baby coming out of his ribcage.
He does. So, he absolutely does. So, the Devourer, essentially, for those who weren't able to get a good, clear picture of what it is, it looks like a bone goblin, large ears, bulbous round head, kind of like spaced out eyes, with like not jagged, but like broken teeth, like a skeleton. With like exposed ribs, and the biggest thing that this picture shows is that coming out of the ribs is almost an equally frightening visage of, it looks like a human, because I know it looks like a baby, but I believe that's because these things are large. They're a large fiend. So a regular humanoid is trying to escape out of the ribs.
No, thank you.
So
A little bit too close to home.
creepy, huh? It says here, out of all the abominations that have been unleashed, devourers are amongst the most feared. These tall, mummy-like fiends wander the plains, consuming souls and, by extension, spreading the creed of replacing all life with everlasting death. They are lesser demons. Let's see here. They mostly devour most devourers. It's kind of strange because devour is also a verb. It's fucking with my brain. Most devourers remain in the abyss or in the astral sea or the eternal planes. So they're out. You know, they're you're not gonna run into them in a cave.
No.
Hopefully. Fuck.
I mean, I think the other association with being in the dark or the underdark is like good things come out in the light in the daytime, bad things come out at night, like the boogeyman and shit. So you're just like, and there's probably, I guess D&D wise, like there's creatures that don't like the light, not just drow, but like creatures, monsters that are just like, yeah, I'm cool down here. There's no sunlight.
It says here, they are tormentors of souls. It says they hunt humanoids pretty much exclusively for the intent of consuming their body and soul. After a devourer brings a target to the brink of death, it pulls the victim in and traps the creature within its own ribcage. As the victim tries to starve off death, usually without success, the devourer tortures its soul with telepathic noise. When the victim expires, it undergoes a horrible transformation, springing forth from the devourer's body, beginning its new existence as an undead servant of the monster that spawned it. So this is a good big bad. Like this could be like a mini boss.
No, thank you.
You know, a devourer who's been like, he has his own kind of crypt lair and just devouring adventurers who happen to come by, bring him in, and now he has a whole horde of servants, these undead servants who he sicks people on, to bring to him to torture more souls. And these guys are no joke. I believe they're challenge rating 13, and I think they earned it.
That's fucking high.
It is high. That is high. They're challenge rating 13. They only have an AC of 16. They have about 180 hit points. I'm rounded up a little bit.
That's still not bad.
It's not bad.
Like, you wouldn't want to fucking run into them in like low-level players. You'd be like,
no, yeah,
screwed.
This would be a really good like level 5 party of 4 boss. Because not only are you fighting this guy, you're also fighting his servants.
Yeah.
Or her servants. So you're not going in a fight with this guy alone. He's never without a backup crew, without his dance crew behind him. He gets a multi-attack. He could do 2 claw attacks, and then he can use either imprisoned soul or soul rend, which is a feature it has. Says Shady saying the constructs are weak though. That's fine. I'll tell you right now, fighting zombies low level is fucking annoying.
It's not so much that they're powerful, it's just that they keep fucking coming back.
They don't die. If you can't deal enough solid damage, and at level like 3 or something, you're not really doing that much.
I feel like, I mean, I ain't gonna knock you because you constantly almost kill us, but I feel like the bigger, the badder the creature, it's more of like how you think your way out of it, or how clever can you be to not die. I feel like for the constant annoying little fucks, that's what they are, and that's how they kill you, because they're constantly there.
Yeah.
And like, you're not thinking about like, oh, that little shit's gonna get me. You're worried about the big bad guy, then when you're like low in health, you're like, that motherfucker just hit me.
You know, and that's the point of these little... So here's a little tip for those who want to do a big encounter with a big bad baddie and then small little guys. Don't make the small little guys cannon fodder. You know, we just had a giant naval battle on a ship for Magic and Mosted, and
Damn crabs.
you guys pretty much avoided a lot of the bad things that were going to happen. I think some of them did happen. The eye crabs
Rira went blind.
made you go blind. So it's like, oh crap, these guys aren't just little tiny little assholes. These guys can really fuck me up. Like, they can go make you go blind, and then all of a sudden, here comes the jellyfish.
Yeah.
You know? And you guys, except for Rolly, once, dodged the majority of the exploding spore thing, little, like, tentacles that are coming out of the drowned privateers. Because if you were to fail that dex saving throw, something would have latched on you, and you would have a point of exhaustion. Point of order, 6 points of exhaustion, and you're dead.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where...
I wasn't rolling bad till the end, then I got blinded.
But you guys don't carry things like alcohol and turn it into Molotovs and other things.
Oh no, Mike does. Mike does. In our original campaign, our DM is very much not like crazy. Like, I feel like Nick is very fair. He's gonna play in our one shot, but he's like, if you can make it make sense, like in reality, like would this make sense?
With magic, you know, of course, there's like...
Yeah. Like in D&D reality. But sometimes there is like, you know, vinegar in this or vinegar in that. Like that makes sense in real life, so I'm going to allow you to use it. Yes, this man made a fucking Molotov cocktail. More than one.
100 times. My character for Nick's campaign is a fighter. Was only a fighter, so had no magic. And I got sick and tired of these range motherfuckers who were like killing me outright, or at least hurting me really badly.
Before you got your crossbow.
And so what I did is I told Nick, I was like, I want to get the flint from Flint and Steel, almost like zip tied onto the inside of my jacket. Because what you can do is you can like rub a thing between the two and it'll light. So essentially, you're carrying like a lighter inside your jacket going... and the point was, and he was like, all right, so you just go to a tailor and you get that done. I'm like, yeah. And I was like, the point is that you get 2 oil flasks, which is an actual item in the game that don't cost a lot. They're only like 5 silver. And we were making hundreds of gold. So it was like, I buy 12
like
flasks.
A whole belt.
I had a bandolier of flasks. And since I was a fighter, I had multi-attack. So what I would do is I click 1, click 2, and I would run it through my jacket, light it, and just toss burning oil, which does 5 points of damage. No roll, just 5 points on 2 turns. So upon hit, the next turn, another 5. So I was doing 10 points of damage, technically 20, every round.
Yeah. I mean, being creative, your DM shouldn't fault you for that, Shady. Like, breaking... I only get annoyed with players if it's like, you damn well know that's not the rule. You're not giving me any explanation of how you want to bend said rule or like what would make sense. You're like, just because I want to be a brat. And I don't play well with those types of people because I generally punish them if I'm the DM. I was like, no. Fine, you want to be that way? We'll be that way. Because I don't work like that. Now, if you're creative enough and be like, hey, I really want to do this. And I was like, okay, explain it to me how you want to do it then. And if it makes sense, do it. Like, and I'm probably I give more leeway than you do. Because I'm like, I don't care. I want you to have fun. But if you're just going to be a little brat about it, then no, that's not fun for anybody.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree that if someone is being clever and go, I would like to use my fire spell simply to light a torch. You know, I don't have any lanterns. I would be like, of course you can do that. If they wanted to be very creative in the way they use their spells, abilities, equipment, allow it.
I mean, I used a wax candle as a crayon.
Yeah, that'll work.
Because they're like, I mean, they're kind of like the same wax, not always, but like, I've actually tried to write with a candlestick, so I'm just like, it could work.
It'll work. You know, and there's a lot of things you can do with rope. Rope is such a utility item that you should really, if your character doesn't carry at least one thing of rope, you should really do that.
I never really had to use it until we got in with the genie, because I was thinking, what the fuck could I use to get down there but not get down there?
Oh my god, the fact that you just mentioned that, Shade, we were in a tomb of like it was remember there was an electric elemental chasing us in Nick's campaign, and there was
electric?
Yeah, it was like spawning on these little points. There was a hallway with spikes. And there was because of what Shady just mentioned, where you can use a transmutal rock. You, as a druid, did I think it was like shape stone.
Shape stone, yeah.
And it was next to a locked door, and you were like, I just create a little tunnel, 5 feet, a 5 foot square. I just create a tunnel and I go around. And Nick was like, wait a minute, does that spell actually? He looked through it and he was like,
it's just 5 feet.
I guess you do it. Yeah, you make it.
I had to fuck around with the pillar too, because it had to be weighted. So like I had to throw up one spell while somebody else threw up another, so we could like
yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't like I was spamming the spell. I literally did what the description said you could do. So it was like, it's just I'm using it probably different than what somebody else would use it for, but because
I would assume people would use it to make a door, or they would make it to make it a wall for cover, or they would use it for like a bunker for keep people like a little divot so that people can jump in and maybe dodge a fireball. It's like, no, I'm gonna make a tunnel.
Yeah,
that works. Before we go off further tangent, I just want to finish the Devourer, and because that soul rend and the soul imprisoned soul thing got me interested. So it can do 2 claws. It is a +10 to hit. It's gonna hit you. And it does.
Oh no, I got 20 AC.
2d6 plus 5 damage per hit. Plus 66 necrotic damage. So that's, what is that?
It's worse than blight.
8d6 plus 5 damage per claw. And it does 2 claws attack. That is no wonder it's 13. Challenge rating 13. That's gnarly.
You're fucked if it gets a hit on you.
No, I'm not sending 4 level 4s against these guys.
I was gonna say 7. Because when you were explaining challenge rating 13, I was like, probably 7 could handle. Probably one of you go down if you guys suck at rolling or whatever. But
God damn. All right, so in Imprisoned Soul, the Devourer chooses a living humanoid with 0 hit points, so it has to be unconscious, that it can see within 30 feet. The creature is teleported inside the Devourer's ribcage and imprisoned there. A creature imprisoned in this manner has disadvantage on death saving throws. If it dies while imprisoned, the Devourer regains 25 hit points, immediately recharges Soul Rend, which is an ability we'll get into in just a second, and gains an additional action on that turn. Fuck!
What if you I mean, there's lots of steps. You could phase step, misty step, or thunder something.
It's a soul.
No, I know, but you can't use your spells to
You're
get
unconscious.
I was gonna say if you're not unconscious.
When you hit 0 HP, you're unconscious.
But you have to be unconscious to get in there.
You have to be at 0 hit HP, which makes you unconscious. So yes. Oh no, well yes, because even if you are stable, you would still be at 0. Essentially, the way the monster's written is that it thrives on people who are almost dead. Making death saving throws mean
orcish resistance or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, that would work. Because it puts you back at 1. Yeah. Oh man, you're playing an orc. I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh nope.
Nope. Fuck you.
I'm getting up.
It says here, so it gets an additional attack. A reminder. It has multi-attack. So 1 action to do multi-attack, 2 attacks. It gets an additional action, meaning it makes 4 attacks around.
Be like, if you have a reaction when you get the fuck up from that one point, you better fuck off, because
says here, there's more to it for this imprisoned. In addition, at the start of its next turn, the Devourer regurgitates the slain creature as a bonus action, and the creature becomes an undead victim of it becomes a zombie. It could become a ghoul, or it can become a wraith.
Oh, wraiths suck.
It depends on your level. So if you're a really high level character, it says here it depends on your level, on how many hit dice you have. So if you're level 1, you're gonna become a zombie. If you're a level 8, probably coming back as something worse. Now Soul Rend, we've heard this twice now. What does that mean? says it recharges at 6, meaning that you have to roll a d6 and land on a 6. By the way, dragons refresh their thing at 5 and 6. This is only a 6, so it can only be worse. The Devourer creates a vortex of life-draining energy in a 20-foot cone radius. Oh, and a 20-foot radius around it. So no, not a cone, just around it.
So don't get too close to it, pretty much.
Each humanoid in that area must make a DC 18 Constitution saving throw, taking 8d10 necrotic damage on a fail save or half as much on a successful one. Increase the damage by 10 for each living humanoid with 0 HP in that area. Ugh. Goddamn.
Yeah, I agree with Shady. You're not fighting that shit at 4 and 5, and if you are, well, you fucked. You better teleport away. Dimension door.
I will say this: Rolly on average does about like 40, it's like 30 to 40 damage.
If I wanted to be mean, I'd give you this, but I feel like if you had a group of 4 level 7 players, you might be able to kill it, or at least get away from it.
Yeah. This guy strikes me as a glass cannon. It sounds like he only has 180 hit points, which is not a lot for this type of monster. But
4 and 5, that's a lot.
True, but if he gets that close to you, that's gonna hurt.
You'd need a bunch of fucking holy people, because what? Clerics?
It's not undead.
It's not?
It's a fiend.
No.
You mean the regurgitated ones?
No. Clerics, druids, I forget if paladins.
He is one-shotting
paladins can do it. Like, it's protection from evil and good.
Yes.
And that is Fey, Fiend,
Elemental.
Yeah. So like they would have disadvantage on hitting you. That would be your one buffer. And then like there's something else that gets added to it. So like you'd need one of those fucking people in your group.
You need a tank and someone who can cast that. And go, tank. Because it has disadvantage on all attack rolls. Please don't die.
Because I want to say if you're... Yeah, no, you can as a paladin, because I did it as Lilith. Like, if you're at least level 5, you got 2 hits, you cast that spell, like, you might be able to make a dent. But like you said, you're gonna need a tank.
You're gonna need someone with a 21 AC and giving it disadvantage with protection for good and evil. And hope to God that it decides... You know what? I'm not making any strides with this guy. I'm going to go after these guys.
Be like, you need a group of paladins, okay? Y'all just be walking down the street.
Yes.
So you get 4 times 2, you get 8 hits. And you all cast that spell on yourself. So
I'm going through the book right now. I want to find my next fun creature to talk about. We went through a bunch of giantkin. Ooh, that looks badass. Gnolls are surprisingly varied when it comes to this book. Same thing with bullywogs. I like using bullywogs, but only as that's the time I use them as cannon fodder.
Yeah, but they were fucking annoying when you used them. I hate those things.
Well, they're cannon fodder.
No, they weren't. Just not for us for whatever
come
reason.
In and do whatever the hell they want. Gnolls are actually pretty annoying. Oh man. You want to talk about mind flares again?
No.
Why not?
Still mad at Savannah for being like, oh the fuck.
You don't want to talk about an Alhoon?
No.
Oh boy.
That was the all last campaign. I'm good. I'm all Alhooned out.
All right, we don't have to talk about mind flares if you don't want to.
I feel like we did talk about them when we went over this book because you were explaining how you made one for our non-stream campaign.
That's true. One day, guys, we'll have a thing about that. Let's talk about gnolls. Let's talk about gnolls. Gnolls are.
I say just do what Shady said.
They're ironically very varied, which is really crazy. Mind flares, yay! Mind flares are really fun to bring in.
Not this one.
What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, he was modded out, but still.
I made it a modded out Alhoon, and he was really cool.
I think that's one thing that I do like that you do differently. Yeah, because I feel like most DMs try to divvy from the stats or like make it their own monster, but a lot of DMs are just like, this is the page I'm using, this is what you're fighting today. So like you normally adjust it a little bit. At least. Sometimes for the worst, and sometimes for the better. We'll see.
Oh, I don't know if I have it anymore.
We did do Beholders, but again, a long time
Here it
ago,
is.
Shady.
Jelly Devils. The Jelly Devil I made.
Was a dick.
I believe I made him from. Let's see. I'm gonna double check. Let's see if it saved it. No, it did not. Unfortunately, it's fine. I believe I made the Jelly Devil from like a Leviathan. So you were fighting essentially a semi-depowered, with a bit of a different stat boost, Leviathan. So what I do is I like to take the base of a stat. Well, first of all, what I do, I go online and I try to find a really cool picture that gives me inspiration. It's appropriate for the setting.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you a fire monster in the water. Doesn't make any sense. And then I go...
Some DMs be like that, you know?
Yeah. And then I go, that's really cool. I'm going to go to Cobalt Fighter or Cobalt Fight Club and see what water monster is kind of equivalent to whatever this picture I found. And then I go, great. It's not as strong or it's too strong. Let's scale it down or up depending on what I need it. And then I add sort of different flares. Or I'm like, no way would this Leviathan have only one pincer or one tentacle or something. No, this guy probably has 7. I might add more or less.
Hey, 7.
Well, we're not going to talk about normal gnolls.
That one on the page doesn't look normal.
No. Let's talk about that one. The Gnoll Withering. I might as well just call it the Withering Gnoll.
The skeleton or the other one?
The skeleton. Oh, that guy looks badass.
Yeah, I'd be like, I gotta go home now, bye.
If this guy was...
I hear my mother calling me.
If you're in a cave and you just hear bones clinking against each other and you see that, fuck, running back.
Yeah.
I ain't dealing with that shit.
I mean, I feel like, I don't know, like, not all caves, but I feel like caves are too easy of a setup to fuck around with your players a little bit, but...
I think, well, let me ask you this question. When I tell you you're gonna have to go into a cave, you know what to expect, right?
I know some shit. I don't know exactly what. I can't really tell with you because we had owl bears, and I thought they were gonna be really bad, and then we had fucking genies.
You didn't fight the owl bears.
And then no, because I didn't want to. And then there was that snake thing that was all bones that rattled. So I never know.
Yeah.
Like I feel like on this, like if I had something to worry about, it was gonna be the genie or the fucking snake thing. It wasn't gonna be the owl bears.
Yo, Siege.
So that's why I was just like, I don't know. And then there was like another time in the non-stream campaign that we were in the cave, and I think we were on like the final episodes or final games, and we were like, there was like little people eating fish or something, and they were like cannibals, but they were like little gremlin things. And it was just like random ass. So like you didn't know how much trouble you were really in until you either started fighting those things or you were just like trying to tiptoe away because you're just like, I'm not trying to deal with that today. So
it's a fun. I think any player and DM have this understanding that the moment you go into a crypt, you go underground. If you go underground for any type of reason, you know that there is something bad in there.
I mean, we didn't go in the sewers anymore, like in Nick's campaign, just because we were in there. Well, I mean, that's where you met my character, but that's...
No, we didn't meet your character in the sewer. We met your character in sort of that mountain tomb where you had to pay a coin to get into.
Oh, yeah, but I thought it led you out to the sewers.
No.
Oh.
No. The reason why you were there as a non-player character, just sort of off on the side, and your character wasn't introduced at the point, but you were there. You watched us in the sort of this as a side person, and you know that we spent maybe 5 or 6 sessions in the sewer.
You were in there for a couple months because you guys were playing once a week, and you had been in there for a long time, and you were like
fucking hated it.
Like, we're never fucking doing this again.
We even were telling Nick, we're like, I don't want to go. I don't ever want to be in the sewer ever. I had my fill. And then remember when we had to go into the underground caverns, which felt like another sewer, and I was like, fuck Fuck, I hate this place. Reminds me of the sewer.
Well, we only really got in trouble because, no offense, Cindy, but fucking Thea, because we even made a rule.
Yeah,
and now,
don't
like,
make her go by herself.
Now in character, we just, like, if a certain player wants to go ahead, one, she's a rogue, she don't check for traps. I think in the several years we've been playing, she's checked for traps twice. No, counted twice.
That
the first
bad?
time she ever did it, I literally messaged the DM and said, "Holy shit, she checked for traps," and he laughed out loud. Because she never checked for traps. She always got in trouble. And like, yeah, she had good AC and good stealth, but clearly not enough because the people that she was getting trapped by were like hold person, and her dump stat was wisdom. So guess who got fucked every time she did this? And then we were like, oh, well, we gotta go save Thea. God damn it, Thea. That's why I was like, you're not allowed to go off by yourself, rogue or not, because your ass gets caught every time. So no, you're not allowed.
I think constantly about Nick's campaign. I think not only that, but I think about his next campaign. I think I've told you numerous times I want to play a different character. As a almost forever DM, I play some characters on the regular.
Your characters always fucking crack me up.
Why?
And Nick's always cracked me up too for like.
Oh, for one shots?
Yeah. Like it's you're either cracking me up or you're some kind of asshole. That's generally what you guys go with.
I like to humble my characters in some certain way. Whether like Rise was a good example where it's like, oh, Rise thinks she's all it and she's a prissy bitch and all this stuff. Well, how'd she die? I don't want to talk about it. How'd she die? She got kicked in the head.
There's a shred of humbleness, yes, but generally those are the two archetypes you like to play. Either like you're really clever and funny, or you're a little bit of an asshole in some way, shape, or form.
I've never played a performer in a one-shot. And I think the next time someone does a one-shot, I want to be a performer.
I'm playing Moscow too much.
Yeah, I kind of want to play a Moscow character. I want to be but maybe I already played a bard. Not a lot though. Maybe I'd play a bard again, but I want to be a charisma guy. You know, I feel like I talk a lot, regardless.
Yes, you do.
So it fits, you know. But yeah, I think a lot about playing new characters, and boy, that's I told you before. Like, there's this channel that I participate in once in a while where I do one shots, and they last for about 4 hours, and I got to play a different version of Moscow, which was really fun. I got to play a ASMR barbarian, which was something that I really wanted to try out. But yeah, I like to think about new characters that I'll never be able to play.
It takes me so long. Like, I can come up with fucking NPCs. I can come up with monsters. Like, if I sit there and think about it, I think for me, it's like, I can't come up with a player that quick. And maybe, like, stats-wise, I can. Like, if I sit there, then if I'm not sure, I just check with you. But I'm like, backstory-wise, no.
I go crazy with backstory.
I think it just takes me so long. You see how long it took me with Vera, but, like, I literally thought everything out. And even Temple and Steve were just like, you put a lot of work into that thing. And I was like, yeah, because I'm gonna hopefully play her for a campaign. So I was just like, I'm gonna put story beats in there. What you do with them is what you do with them. But
yeah, there's one character, there's a wizard I want to play, and I got a taste of the wizard experience through VAR, which was the Christmas one shot that we had. And I loved it so much I want to do it again. But
it was fun being the twins.
It was fun. It was really fun. But I told you this character's backstory before, and I may play him as a one-shot character. I don't think he's ready for a campaign. He's built for a campaign, but I don't think I want to play him as a campaign just yet. Where he's a teacher.
Oh yeah, that one. I thought that one was good.
It's
I
good.
thought it was sad, but it was good.
It's so good.
It's a lot to work with. Like
So-
if somebody wanted to incorporate your story into a campaign.
Yeah, so let's go. I'll break it down because I obviously want to talk about it. So the idea is that it is a human. I would choose a variant human who chose the linguist feat, which gives you like a +1 to intelligence and then additional languages. So I would also pick the sage background, meaning you get 2 additional languages. And as a variant human, you get 1 additional language. So you, at the very end of it, would have like 7 to 8 languages total. He would be a warlock, and he would be a genie warlock. And the whole idea was that he was a teacher. He was not an English teacher. He was just a linguist teacher who would teach young adults, preteen to like teenager, and was really well loved within the community because he was just a normal guy. He was just like, I like teaching. You know, these are my kids. You know, they're not my kids, but you know, like how you would imagine a really nice teacher to be like, you guys are like my kids. I want to make sure you're fine.
I mean, even little asshole kids, I'm sorry, there's always one. But, like, generally, most teachers just say, like, oh, my kids.
Yeah.
Like, they don't say, like, my son, my daughter, but, like, they're my kids because I teach them. I see them every day.
There is, we've had those teachers who go above and beyond for you.
Yeah, I TA'd, ended up being her teacher's assistant.
Yeah.
And I still talk to her now, so.
It's those teachers that make a difference in your life. So I was like, I want to make one of those people who's a really nice guy. You know, he does his best. He's like, yeah, I'll teach you what I can. So you want to come after school? And so he had a very unorthodox way of teaching where he would substitute for classes. And every time he substituted, people were like, oh my God, it's him. And so he would substitute for one class, and it was supposed to be like learning, like zoology, like learning about animals. And they lived in a space where they had.
I mean, it could be biology.
Or biology, yeah.
It's the study of life. Doesn't have to. It could be microorganism to creature.
The whole point was that the class that he was subbing for, he did something that generally is kind of frowned upon in teaching, but I'm sure a lot of kids would love it, is that, hey guys, we're going to learn about animals in the wild. And not like we're going to take you to see a lion or a bear, but like we're going to go to one of the beaches over here, and there's a little alcove where you can see all these like stalagmites and stalactites, and we can learn about, you know, erosion, and we can learn about you know, all these things. So he was supposed to be an intelligence-based character who was a charisma caster. So it was going to be interesting. And unfortunately, an earthquake happened, and oh my God!
What did that cat just do?
He ran into our tripods. You leave it. It's fine.
That idiot.
Hey, yeah, timing. Earthquake happened. So an earthquake happened. Smack, slam, slam, slam. And he's there with his class, and they get trapped. A bunch of boulders or rocks trap him inside this water cave, this beach cave. And the really depressing part of it is that, and this is true.
Since he didn't tell nobody.
Yeah, usually adults. Yeah, first of all, he didn't tell anyone, which is not only very, very harsh, but always like, uh-oh, I really fucked up. But it was just like all good intentions, but, you know, the robe is paid with good intentions. And they didn't bring any food or water, but they were trapped there. No one knew where they were. So slowly his class started to weed out. And he's a human, so he doesn't have dark vision, and there's no light. So he's just crying as his class and kids are dying around him. And eventually another earthquake happens. He sees a small light within the cracks of the floor, picks it up, and it's a vial of blue ink. And after he opens it, pops out a water genie. I think it's a Merided.
Yeah.
And that's where the pact was going to be made, where it's like, you're dying. What can I do to help you? Let's make a pact. Let's make a deal. And he would go, save me and my class. Bring them back and get us out of here. And the druid or the patron would have went, I can't do that just yet, but I can get you out of here if we work together. And as time goes on and you get stronger, I will give you the means to do that, to bring him back. And he went, deal. Handshake, he becomes a warlock. Comes out of the cave, has to tell the parents, and is basically shunned from his life. And that's where he starts adventuring. Is that what makes him venture? Well, this genie told him, you need to get stronger. So what's the best way to get stronger? Probably getting out in the world. And the hope is that warlocks in general don't get wish, the spell wish. Genie warlocks do. And so the idea was that he's working up to get that 9th level spell slots to cast wish. And he was just going to go, I wish for them to come back. And it would have happened.
Meanwhile, though, he can't teach.
In the meanwhile, he can't teach. He's been barred. And that's his biggest love, is that he wants to teach. And it would have been such a great... He's such a fun character, but I can't see him going through an entire campaign.
I could see you probably multi-classing, but then that would defeat the purpose of Wish.
He has to get to level 17 Warlock. He has to. Because I think 17 is when you get 9th level spells. And he's not giving that up. He has to do it.
Yeah.
I think it would have been fun for like the DM to take it and go, cool. Well, you probably run into maybe in your adventures like the kid's parents at one point, or maybe they put a hit on you. They realize that you're alive, and there's some asshole parents who are like, I'm gonna fucking kill you because I see the point.
You can't say that now that you got a nugget on the way.
True. What's the best way to get stronger? Push-ups, sit-ups, and plenty of juice. Oh boy, Siege. You've been talking to Steve a lot, haven't you? He loves that quote. But yeah, he was going to be a very intelligent person who was semi-persuasive because he was some beef into charisma. Yeah. But that was the story of, and I think I was going to call him Thomas.
Excuse me?
It was like Thomas something. I don't remember.
I don't think you're gonna call him Thomas.
I don't remember what I was gonna call him. I thought it was Thomas. He was like a very plain guy, you know, who was just smart, and he would do that thing where he's like, "Did you know that Sylvan is the spoken word of the Feywild, and that's why some Elvish terms come from Sylvan, just because they're so close to one another?" And you would have to turn around and be like, "Thomas, shut the fuck up." He's like, okay, never mind.
The random facts guy.
Yeah, but did you know also Primordial was also a language that a lot of, and you'd be like, I don't give a fuck. Stop it. He was like, all right, sorry. He was supposed to be like a neurotic person. And I would also probably make it so that he has like the fear of darkness. Like it brings back old memories.
That's a warlock. You can get dark vision.
He could get devil sight. That's true. That might help him. Also, one of the evocations that warlocks get is like you get to read everything. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter what script, and he would have taken that in a heartbeat. Like, fuck yeah, I get to read everything. I want to do that. So yeah, I don't know if you have a character that do you have such a like if Vera ever dies.
I quit.
What? Really?
I don't think I'd want to replace her as far as she's gotten. That's the thing.
Would you really just quit?
I don't know, but I probably wouldn't want to play somebody else. And I think that was the thing with, and it's always happened. I don't know why, but like my characters always go down in like either the first thing out of the gates or like in the first couple sessions. And that happened for Vera, and it happened for Iris, which was our at-home campaign, and it was like the first or second session. It was like the first fucking battle because it was like a hag lady, and I was like level 1, and you don't go up against a hag lady at level 1. so I fucking dropped. But I mean, like, she didn't die. They brought her back, but like with just basic healing. But Gundam 00 did a thing where a character died and his twin brother was basically him, and it took his place. I think I put too much work into Vera, That's my problem. But like with Kara, I made it like a basic story beat and like added a few details, but I didn't know what I was doing because I hadn't played, or at least not officially played with like the right rules and stuff. So like it was meh.
It's D&D though.
Yeah, but like Iris and I've gotten more complicated each time I make a character. So I don't know.
I will say this, is that it is D&D, so you can't always assume your character is going to make it out alive every time.
I know, but I like Matt's role. Like, I think he gives you an opportunity to bring them back. Like, it may not be right now, but it'll, like, he will give you a way if you're, like, that adamant about, like, I want to bring them back.
Mm-hmm.
For most of the time, unless, you know, you're the Mighty Nine and he's like, no, your dead character's the fucking big bad evil guy, or at least part of it. So
when has he done that before? Like, Vaxeldan?
I mean, the first campaign, they all fucking died, and then, like,
no, I mean dead.
No, I mean dead.
No, they would, oh, you mean, well, that's because they had a cleric.
Yeah. But I mean, like, every time, like, some of them died more than once. But, like, some of them had to stay away. Like, I think Pike died and she stayed away.
I don't remember when... I'm talking about different things.
Mm-hmm.
I understand there is unconscious, there is dead, and then there is no coming back. More than likely, if Vera dies, she's not... There goes the cleric. There's more than likely she's not coming back in time.
She has a soul necklace.
That's... true. That protects your soul from being taken, though.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it can't protect your soul from dying, from leaving. No, I believe that Taliesin has a good mentality on that. Is that you need to prepare. You need to, when you create your character the very first time, you need to prepare for them to die. Not to say like you want them to, but like what happens if they do? You know, what should you play next? And I hold that mentality very strong. I have a character named Quinn, and I know exactly what's going to happen when he dies.
I think it's just because I ultimately refuse. Like, I think if Kara died now, I'd be sad, but she's done so much, and her mentality is different than Vera's. Like, it is, like, she's not like so far like right is right and this is how you do it. Like, she has loosened up her interpretation of it a little bit, especially being with the group she's with. But like, her whole purpose was I gave her status, but she does not exercise that status unless she really needs to. She's a very humble person, even though she comes from a noble background. Like, she doesn't say I'm this unless she needs to get out of a situation generally, and she hasn't ever really done it until I think like level 15 or something. Like, she's never flexed because she doesn't believe in doing that. She believes she's for the people. So if she were to die for the people, I think I'd be okay with it. It's disappointed, but like, that's just not how she's geared. Like, she's not geared to be a champion. She's geared to serve whoever she needs to in that time and place. And right now it's the group and that city.
You guys are at a high level where I would understand that if anyone would have died and can't be brought back, that there are ways, or at least easy ways, to say that a particular way to like to there is backup ways to make characters. So one idea that comes to mind is that you already know that there are domain chosen. You could be that, like, you could be a defacted domain chosen that has decided to join the group, heard of their exploits, and is like, you know, this is what's happening with me, and I need your help, and I will help you out. And it'll be a great way to be like, we just lost a person. All right. You know, and that's one way to make a backup character who's a level 12 person.
I'm not saying I would do it because, like I said, I refuse. But the only one that would make sense is Cass, because of what she is and what role he is.
Oh, Cass. Oh, that's a great way to integrate That's a fun
Because she
thing.
worships Dendar. And like she doesn't fully understand what Dendar is. Like she does, don't get me wrong.
At
But
level 12.
I mean like the way we did her backstory initially just for a one shot, like she was like, I needed a way out. Like she's not good in any, like she's neutral. I'm full neutral, probably more on the good side than like bad, but like if it's in her benefit and it fucks somebody over, she's probably not gonna think too much about it. She's so like in that, you know, life or death, sure, I'll sell my soul to you, just get me the fuck out of here. So she's like that type of person.
That would mean like what level are you guys right now? 12?
Yeah.
So that would mean you'd be a level 12 warlock.
Fathomless warlock.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That would be badass.
It is hard to play neutral, Shady. I just think like she's very neutral in the way I made her, because she's like, she's not bad, but she's a little weird. She's got her own shit going on, and like she's out for herself. But like if she's not gonna take a candy from a baby type of person. Like if you're a dick and she'd take your candy, well, you were an asshole, so I don't really care if I took your thing.
She would push a kid into
No, she's not that way.
I feel like if she was like if a kid was crying and like being annoying and like hitting her leg, she would be like pushing you into sand right now. I'm just letting you know.
No. That's more Lilith because she likes to play. No, she would just probably like
no love, you know, no
like,
patience.
Like I'm not gonna hurt you, but you need to get the hell out of my way. So there.
True neutral is definitely hard to play because they'd be like, "Oh, we're gonna kill this guy? Sure. Is it for a good cause? Yeah, maybe."
Yeah,
But
that's how I made her though. But like in the one shot, like those were her friends, or at least people that she felt like tolerated her the best, given that
professional acquaintances.
Given that I made her a Kalistar with a voice in her head and a Fathomless Warlock, because, you know, I'm special like that. But
Oh my god, what if the voice turned out to be Vera?
no, I made it Eli.
That's true, Eli. I remember Eli.
Again, that's not how Kalistars work.
I know. You can flavor. You know my wizard that I want to play. I could flavor anything I want.
I know, but it's my character, so no.
It's true. Well, guys, I think we talked about one monster in Volos, and we kind of
Then we went on character building somehow.
We'll go back to Volos. There's a bunch of cool monsters in here. We'll talk about them. We'll maybe talk about giant kin. Giant kin are awesome.
And Knowles for next time, because we told Shady Knowles and then we didn't do Knowles. We just showed a nice scary picture.
We did. So join us tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as we do episode 55.
You're welcome.
Damn. For Magic at Mosted. See you guys then.
Bye.